Whenever I'm talking to a friend about a book that I'm reading, they're like, this is a movie, isn't it? And I'm like, no, it's not, but it should be. Hey y'all, if you're new here, my name is BME Queen, and today I am going to be telling you about books that should be movies, but the actors that I would cast in those movies. Today I'm gonna be talking about 4 books that I think should absolutely be movies. I don't know why they're not movies already, but in my usual style, I read a lot of Black owned and Black authored books, so I'm gonna cast mostly Black actors. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. We're gonna get into it. So the first book is The Perfect Marriage. This one is not Black authored, but I fell in love with this book immediately. I'm not gonna lie, I read half of it in Barnes & Noble and then I bought the book because I needed to finish it at home. So if you don't know what this is, it is about a very successful, prominent woman lawyer who is married to a not so successful writer who is having an affair with a woman that turns up dead. The wife becomes his defense attorney in this case. When I say this story was absolutely psychotic, I mean it was crazy. It was literally crazy. I read this book in 2 days. I wish I would have read it faster, honestly. So as for the successful lawyer, I would cast Gabrielle Union to play this role because I feel like in so many roles she plays like the crazy type of girlfriend. Like she can do either. She can be like a nice girl, but she can also be pretty psychotic, kind of like in the movie Obsessed. I don't think she was in that one, but I feel like she would do this role such a great justice. Like, oh my gosh, she would play the hell out of this. Gabrielle Union is definitely one of my favorite actresses. My all-time favorite role of hers is in Bring It On when she is the cheer captain. I actually dressed up as that cheerleader in 2017 with my field hockey team. It was a really great matching costume. So I absolutely loved it. Anyway, I think Gabrielle Union would slay this role. And for her cheating husband, I would want it to be Michael Ealy. I'm not saying that he looks like a cheater, but like, he would definitely fill the role. Like he would do this role very, very well. So I'm not gonna give away any spoilers in this video because a lot of the books I'm talking about are mysteries or thrillers. But I will say that Gabrielle Union will play the hell out of this role, and I don't know why she hasn't already been casted in it. There are a lot of twists and turns in this book, and I just want to see this on screen. I need to see this on Netflix ASAP. So next we're gonna be talking about is When No One Is Watching, and that is written by Alyssa Cole. So I read this one on my iPad. I love this book so much because first, it's actually a story about gentrification. So a Black girl who goes back to her neighborhood in New York City notices that there are a lot of stores and a lot of changes that have happened to her neighborhood, a lot of them being gentrifying. A lot of people that she grew up with are no longer able to afford, you know, the coffee shop or the corner or the different stores that are popping up. She starts to take on the project of keeping her neighborhood and her culture alive within her neighborhood, and she starts to host meetings for her neighbors. So like a neighborhood watch type of meeting, and who shows up but the new white kid who lives down the street. I think this is such a great book because it is a thriller, but it has a little bit of romance in it, and I wasn't expecting the romance part, to be quite honest, but I'm really happy that it was sprinkled in there. So for this book, I would actually cast who do I want to cast in this? I would cast Alicia Keys, and the reason why I say that is because Alicia Keys is very like power to the people, like we gonna ride for our people, and she's also from New York, so I think that's a really great mesh. The character in the book has a lot of very strong personality traits, but she's also passive aggressive in some parts, and I feel like Alicia Keys could really hone in on that. Like she would be like the perfect person to play that. I don't think I've seen her in a movie, but a lot of her music videos are very story-like-esque. Like she could definitely be an actress, or probably was an actress in her past life, but I feel like she would really be a really great role, and I also think she would be a really great co-star with Jack Harlow. So like I said, the white guy comes in, he is super unassuming, like he doesn't want to hurt anybody, right? He's there for all the right intentions. And if you saw Jack Harlow in White Man Can't Jump, that is exactly how he was. Like he is the most like harmless white guy, but also really cute and also really appealing to Black girls, at least appealing to me. Like I love that man. But I think he would be a great role, and I think the two of them together will be able to have a great chemistry on screen. Like like they could really play out the roles in this book. There's one part of the book where the white guy starts to argue with his white girlfriend, and they're arguing because she is very much one of the problematic people in the neighborhood, and he just gets tired of her BS. And I think Jack Harlow would do that to a T. Like, he is just, I just think he's the perfect role for this book if it were to be a movie. I think his first movie role was actually White Man Can't Jump, and it's on Hulu if you haven't already seen it. It is absolutely hysterical. Like, he's just like he's so like silly but like down to earth, but also has a little bit of swag to him, you know? So anyway, I love him for that role. I think he would be the great person to play if this book became a movie. The next book is You're Not Supposed to Die by Karen Barron, and this one I picked up on a whim. So it is actually considered a fantasy, which I normally don't read fantasies at all, but there was a black girl on the cover and people were talking about this book on TikTok, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it. If you haven't been keeping up with my Instagram reads, you should definitely follow me on Instagram. This book was really surprising. So it's about a girl who works at a thriller camp, and when I say a thriller camp, I mean it's more like a combination of a haunted house with an escape room. So she is the manager of this escape room that basically occurs in the woods, and the role of this job is to keep everybody intact, keep everyone employed, but also scare the customers when they set up to go through the simulation. So the last few days of summer, while this simulator camp is open, she starts to discover some really eerie and strange things that are going on around the camp, and some of her coworkers start to go missing. She does call in her girlfriend, a romantic partner, and her platonic girlfriend. Together, they are trying to figure out how everyone is going missing and what is actually going on at the camp. For the main character, her name is Charity. I would cast Storm Reed. So if you saw Storm Reed in her most recent movie, Missing, I saw this on a whim, and I was not expecting the movie to be told in the way that it was, but it was very, very interesting. However, I feel like Storm Reed is really growing into her role as an actress. So she started out in the acting world very, very young, and I feel like I'm watching her grow up on screen. So I think Storm Reed would be a great person for this role because it is a managerial role, but it's still a lot of young characters. This is a YA novel. I feel like Storm Reed would be the perfect person for this because she played a scary like role in the movie Missing, and this would be like a next level up for her to do a movie that would be made from a book like this. As for her girlfriend, so there is a romantic partner in this book, and I would want the girl from Black Panther 2 to play that role. What is her name? I don't know how I'm talking about. The girl who builds the Iron Man machine and she goes to MIT in Black Panther. Yeah, her. I gotta find her name. I would want her to play Storm Reed's girlfriend. She actually becomes a very interesting and pivotal role in the story, and you see that as the story plays out, so I'm not gonna give away any endings. But I think she's an up-and-coming actress, and this would be like a great role to bring her from a side character to a main character. I really want to see her on screen again. I don't know if she's working on anything. I haven't seen her since Black Panther came out, and that was almost a year ago, I would say now. So I think those two would be really great to star in this movie. Again, there are other characters that I'm not gonna cast for this movie because, you know, they're all side characters, but in my mind, those would be the two main actresses that I would cast for this book if we were a movie. The next book I'm gonna talk about, I read on my iPad as well, and that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So this one has been all over TikTok, and for good reason. I think it's absolutely hilarious. If you've never heard the book, I did a full booktube video on this already, but quick synopsis. So the main character is a twin girl who is a maid of honor in her twin sister's wedding, and she is on board with this wedding and her soon-to-be brother-in-law, but the only thing she doesn't like is her future brother-in-law's brother. They are arch nemesis. They don't get along at all. Bride and the groom both get violently ill at their wedding, along with a bunch of other guests, and the only people that do not become ill are the main character Olive and her arch nemesis, her brother-in-law's brother. They end up impersonating the bride and groom so they can go onto their non-refundable honeymoon. This story is absolutely hilarious because it's one of those enemies to lovers tropes, but it is so funny. So when I originally read this story, I was like, oh, Adam Sandler and Rachel Green. I mean, Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston is her real name. I was like, immediately, those two are absolutely hilarious. They have done so many murder mysteries on Netflix already. Like, those two are so funny, and they can really do a rom-com as well. Like, they are so good, and they have really great chemistry on set. However, I am going to recast this, not with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, but instead, I would cast Tia and Tamara Mori, because again, the main characters are twins. If you haven't seen Tamara Mori's TikTok, it is absolutely hysterical. The girl is so funny. I don't know why we didn't know she was funny before. Maybe because she had like a lot of like sister roles and sister, just things where we didn't get to see her personality, but I feel like it really shows on TikTok, especially today. But I would have Tia and Tamara, with Tamara being Olive from the book. And then the brothers end, I would have the Wayans brothers. They are so absolutely hilarious, and I haven't seen them in a film together since White Chicks, which was so long ago. For the purpose of this novel, they're all related, right? So the two girls are identical twins, and then the brothers are not identical twins, but they are brothers that are 2 years apart. So I feel like those 4 people would be perfect for this book. There is a lot of comedy throughout it. There is a lot of love and romance mixed in as well, but I don't think I know any other people or actors that would really play off the role as well, aside from Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. But I just think that it'd be the funniest combination. So if you guys would cast other actors or actresses in these books if they were movies, let me know in the comments. If you want to see another video like this of more books that I know have probably already been movies or should be movies, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.